hello. Hello, everyone. We're back in the echoes. Yeah. I don't know. Some loser won the poll. I guess we gotta do that. Yeah. I mean, I guess there was only it was only losers on the poll anyway. So I guess like it's fine. It's fine. I'm eating some mozzarella cheese sticks. Bear with me. I don't know why I grabbed these at the store yesterday, but I did. Slap these in the air fryer. It's just like, yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. How cheesy are they? They're fine. They're fine. They were like on sale, so it's like not the best quality like cheese sticks, but they're fine. You know. I'm surprised. I expected Jenna to win. Jenna wasn't on the poll. I left her out for reasons. You know, because I don't know what's misogyny. How about that? Is that how I pronounce that word? I don't know. Here, let me go back to the main menu. There we go. Look, it's the fun screen. Look how fun it is. Yay, more trauma. Lit. Oh damn. Also, hello, Michael. Do you think one day they'll put this CG at the end of Jenna's route? Like this background? Do you think they'll do that one day? I don't think they will. I'd like them to. I think that'd be cute. Damn. Man, was it Saint Bull? Is that their username? The guy who did like the child models in this game? Was he the one that also redrew this but with Sydney in it? I don't know, I like that one. That one's cute. That one's cute. Imagine it. The Sydney route. I feel like that one would be like the horniest for some reason. I don't know. That's just how I feel. Oh my god. No. Okay. It landed back in the bowl. It's fine. It's fine. We're good. We're all good. Okay. Where even is my safer? Did I put it back here? Yeah, it's back there. And there's a QR code on the back, damn. Man, I wish. Wouldn't that be lit? Every time Chase jerks off. Isn't that he's having sex with Sam? Not Sydney, right? I thought the implication was that Sydney was with Tej. You know? And that was what I got out of it. I'd have sex with Sam. I mean, most people would. A lot of people pay to have sex with him, too. Oh. Kind of incredible. I don't know if I'd pay to have sex with Sam, though. I'm pretty, You know, I could probably get it for free. It's like the one moment that I'm like, Murdoch's got a point. Like, why pay when you can get it for free? For. You know what I mean? Ah, God damn it. Oh god. You know, it's hot. No. Okay. C and Murdoch could get along, I see. Who is this C? I've never seen C before. Sex isn't worth paying for? Damn. A little bit true, though. Okay, I'm gonna move my mic real quick. Here we go. Here we go. I'll stay here. Yeah. Okay. Where are we going? Ah. Oh, that's a little loud in the levels, isn't it? And also in my ear holes. Let's turn down the computer audio a bit. There we go. We're gonna sit with Carol. This lad. This sad boy. Is he deserving of respect? I don't know. Let's say no. I think it's funnier that way. I'm tired and I feel awful. I just don't have it in me to chase everyone down right now. Chase is gonna chase. Flynn's back, back off to Echo, and it looks like Leo went after TJ. But I can't imagine the Lynx wants all of us crowding around him right now. I sigh, rubbing my face before I sit down in the lawn chair next to Carl. He looks over at me, slowly lowering what's definitely a joint from his mouth. What? I don't mind. I make a go on gesture with my paw. Carl shakes his head, though, pushing the disheveled tube back into his front pocket. Nah, I always kind of feel like a dick when the other guy isn't into it. Want me to leave? He shakes his head with a quick flick of his horns. No, man. I just do it when there's nothing else to do. Ah. There's a moment of silence, and I feel a little pressure. Excuse me, to break it since I'm the one who interrupted his bake session. I actually tried it a few years ago. Carl looks surprised. Oh, really? How was it? I shrug. Pretty bad. It was in a muffin, I think. Oh, that was the party, right? That's the party. I think? Carl makes a face at that. The edibles. Yeah, well, I ended up eating one. It didn't feel anything for a while. Next thing I know, I'm face down on the floor and everyone's freaking out. Shit, that sucks. It was kind of funny, but I don't think I'll ever try it again. The worst of the short stories, it's so boring. It's one of those, like, what do you mean that's it? What the... Eh? Like, excuse me? Excuse me? Carl pulls the joint back out of his pocket and holds it up. That's why you should use one of these. It's easier on the brain. Yeah, well, I guess I don't like the idea of putting smoke in my lungs. Carl puts the joint back into his pocket. And the party is like nothing. Right? It is what it is, though. It is what it is. I get that. Again, there's a few seconds of silence, and I try to think of something to say, but Carl beats me to it. Crazy shit, huh? Oh, here, let me turn up the game volume, now that I can see the game levels a little bit better. And also, I need to adjust the window a little bit. There we go. I assume he's talking about what just happened. Yeah, crazy.
But you know how he is. He's regretting everything right now.
A fly just flew into your water. Drink it. It's high in protein. Insects protein. Do it. Well, I guess I'd rather he just wouldn't say it in the first place. What he said to TJ, man. He picked on him a lot, but that was crossing the line. Carl scratched behind one of his horns, then rubs his nose.
Well, yeah. I guess I never understood that either. Making fun of TJ is like making fun of a cloud.
Excuse me? What does that mean?
But Flynn doesn't mean it, usually. He likes TJ.
I've noticed during the trip that Carl's been pretty defensive of Flynn, even though he's the butt of most of the Lizard's jokes. I'd seen Flynn trip Carl up and put him in several headlocks since I got here. You'd think getting older would change that, but I swear they roughhouse even more than they did before. So, you and him still seem pretty close. You guys hang out a lot?
Yeah, a bit. Mostly because there isn't much else to do. He's got a friend in Peyton that he hangs out with sometimes, too.
Eh? So, what do you guys do? I know Flynn isn't into video games at all, and Carl probably doesn't care to go clubbing every other night. He shrugs.
Sometimes we go fishing. Maybe just drive around Peyton. Mostly I'm just hanging out at home, though.
Playing video games?
Playing video games. Watching movies. Cybering with a chatbot. The usual.
I grin. That's sad. I would have cybered with you if I'd known you didn't have anyone. Do people unironically say cybered? Like, sorry, I'm gonna move my mic again. There we go. Like, is that a thing? Cybered? Like, what the shit? That sounds so... Zoomer? But not Zoomer. No, it's millennial. That's very millennial. I don't like it. It sounds dumb.
I don't know, man. That thing compiles all the fetishes of the people it's talked to. It's gotten my sexuality all kinds of fucked up.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it seems like no matter what I say to her, she's tied up in some warehouse, blindfolded with a few missing limbs.
You underestimate my abilities.
Oh, and a gender swap that comes out of nowhere halfway through.
Well, while you're not sexing up a robot, you doing anything else? He chuckles.
I can't exactly get around myself anymore.
So I guess your parents decided against getting you a new car?
Yeah. Oh, look at this.
He leans over and pulls out his phone. I can't help but notice it's a top model brand, probably around $700. Man. What was is that, I mean, $700 for 2015? I mean, iPhones were more expensive than that back then, right? Is that a top-of-the-line brand, then? I'm expecting over 1,000 for something like around that era. But he's not showing me the phone. Instead, he pushes up the screen a few times and swipes through some pictures. I swear I see an image of Flynn with his pants down, mooning the camera. Carl swipes over it pretty quick, though, and now I'm looking at the image of a brand new sedan. Except the front is neatly folded up around the pole of a stop sign. Amazing. Hello, Charles. I recognize the sign. I'd actually seen it right outside the convenience store, still bent at a ridiculous angle. I guess the town didn't care enough to get it fixed. The pole itself is almost embedded into the middle of the hood. Holy shit! Carl chuckles and pinches the screen, zooming in.
Yeah, I dropped my phone and when I came back up, this freaking pole was right in front of me.
Hello, Fane. Oh, goodbye, Fane, I guess. Can't say. But alright. Thanks for stopping by, then. Yeah, that's that. Really, Carl? Why were you on your phone?
I don't know. When I get to town, I don't really think anyone's gonna be on the road.
I sigh, then notice a big round spot on the right side of the windshield, spider-webbed and smashed white. Whoa, is that?
Yup.
Carl knocks on his head, and, for effect, the hollow sound that emits seems rather appropriate. You rely on that too much, and you really need to start wearing your seatbelt. He shrugs and puts his phone back into his pocket before leaning back into his chair and closing his eyes.
What's the point?
Not to die. Ah, Dragon, hello.
It happens to everyone sooner or later. Why not get out early if you can?
Oh my god. He keeps his voice light under the heavy statement. I have no idea what to say to that, so I don't, but he breaks the silence again soon enough.
So, how's, PU? You see, Chelsea at all?
Sometimes I forget Carl went to Pueblo with me. It was only one semester, but we had a lot of fun. It's alright. Haven't seen, Chelsea at all, though.
It is a big school. Anyway, what's the project thing you're doing?
Just a news packet about Echo, really. Kinda about how it's falling apart.
Huh.
I've told him this already, but Carl never remembers much. Might center it around the whole body and the mind thing that happened way back. Carl opens his eyes and looks at me.
So, do you need, like, history stuff, like old books and records and stuff?
Yeah, if it relates. Carl sits up straighter and grins.
Well, why didn't you say so? We've got a ton of stuff in the crawl space from way back when.
Yeah? What kind of stuff? Carl sets a hoof against one of the rocks. Yeah, one of the rocks circling the fire pit and starts rocking his chair back. The thumbnail is art? Oh my god.
Well, whatever my family kept over the years, that one guy,
Carl snaps his fingers a few times.
You know, the guy, founded this place,
James?
Yeah, sure. He's like my great-great-grandfather or something. I think we still have some of that stuff from back in the day. My parents were thinking about setting up an Echo Museum thing, but they never did.
This might actually be useful to me. That's all Chase cares about. Ah, I'm getting something from this situation. All I had planned was to maybe look over some old newspapers or town records and be done with it. Actually, seeing some old stuff up close could be pretty cool. That might be a good idea, actually. Carl grins.
Awesome! I always, kinda wanted to look through that stuff, but the crawl space is damn creepy. You free tonight?
For the first time, Carl actually looks really excited.
Oh, wait. Never mind. Flint's taking me to a dentist appointment early in the morning. How about around 11 tomorrow?
Does he always do that? Wait. I guess he could have taken Carl to the dentist and then you guys went fishing. Huh. I smile. It sounds like a plan.
Sweet!
Oh, there he goes. There he goes. Carl gives an excited kick off the rock, and as the chair tips back, the back legs practically snap under his weight. He's sent slamming down on his rear, the chair a crumpled mess under his ass. I laugh, and of course I feel bad, but Carl gets up with a sheepish smile, looking down at the broken pile.
Welp, Leo's gonna be pissed.
What do you mean he's gonna be pissed? He's gonna be like... Right, his day is His, like, section there is real short. Huh, I forgot. Is his the shortest one? Like, the Leo one's the long conversation, and Flynn has, like, the diner scene, and... Odd. I don't know, man. That's odd. Now I'm driving down the road alongside the lake. Carl's sitting next to me. He's in the car that he broke. I kept telling him to wear his seatbelt, but he won't. I turned down a road I don't remember. It goes straight down towards the lake. For some reason, I can't stop. I brace myself for the impact, but I hardly feel anything. We just glide into the lake. I start trying to take off the seatbelt, but it's stuck. I look over at Carl, and he's smiling before opening his door. Water rushes in, and he starts to step out. Soon the water is over my head, and it doesn't matter that I'm an otter. Huh. You don't need a dramatic confrontation, just a vibe. I think it needs, like, something, because that scene... Because, you know, like, the scene with Flynn, right, at the diner pretty much sets up, like, a lot of the conflict and worries that Flynn has throughout the rest of the route. And in, like, Leo's route, you get the relationship, like, set up between the two. Here, the only thing we really get from Carl is, like, oh, I guess we're gonna look up historic stuff with him. I don't know. It feels a little lacking, a little, you know, because that's the start of the route. It's supposed to jumpstart the feel of, like, the rest of the thing. I don't know. So it being the shortest makes sense. Yeah, but they also had so much time to retool that. Like, they retooled some of the other routes slightly, right? Like, it's fine. Is there a theme for this route? Yes. Yes. We'll get there. It turns out it was a good idea to hang out with Carl today. After texting back and forth with Leo, I learned that he's actually planning a birthday party for the Ram. It's a little weird since Carl's birthday isn't for another month, but I guess it's just an excuse to have a party. Leo tells me to keep Carl distracted for the day while they go shopping for decorations and gifts. He also tells me he'll get me a gift for Carl, which is fine for me. TJ's pretty bummed, though, considering it throws off his hiking plans, but Jenna promises him they'll at least hike half the trail. I want to talk to him, but he's acting pretty cold towards me, probably because I'm bailing on my promise to go with him. This is why you never promise anything. Well, okay. Music, start, go, yes. I drive to Carl's house because it's pretty far separated from the rest of Echo, up against the foothills of the Cosa Demonio mountain range. I probably fucked that up. Also, is this like the... Oh, right. Chase actually, like, uses his car in this route. That doesn't really happen in many of the others, because usually it's like Leo's driving him around in Leo's route, you know, to keep him trapped. And, you know, Flynn takes you around, right? You know, he gives you a ride. Is what it is. It'd probably take me 15 minutes to get up there, and there's no way in hell I'm doing that in this heat, uphill, when I've got a car. The main reason it's separated like this is because Carl's house is a mansion. I hope Carl actually gets to have a happy party this time. Carl's family is loaded, a legacy that's followed ever since Carl's great whatever struck it rich over 100 years ago. James Hendricks eventually went up to start an ice cream business, which, at this point, has spread out over most of the western half of the country. Carl's mom is the CEO, I think. She's probably pretty tough. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I should probably get some shots of the mansion, considering its role in the town's history. Most of the old mansion has been demolished at this point, but I think parts of it are still from the original structure. Probably best to ask first, though. I walk up to the front door and ring the doorbell, listening to the fancy chime inside. I wait for about a minute, starting to wonder if Carl is asleep or just high off his ass, when I hear some voices from behind the house. I'm definitely recognizing the crackly timbre of Carl's voice, along with the high tenor of Flynn's. I head around the house, stepping carefully through the desert landscaping and walking into the backyard.
"'Cause you want to make out with him." "No, because you like to make things weird. I just want to be relaxed."
Oh, this scene. This scene's weird. This scene's awkward. That's when Carl notices me as I round the corner, clutching my camera bag at my side. He's leaning over a bush with a giant set of clippers, while Flynn's lounging up against the wall, watching him.
"Whoa, Chase!"
Huh. Flynn, what was that reaction? What was that reaction, Flynny boy? Carl's ears perk and he grins.
Sorry, Flynn."
Carl rolls his big head at the lizard.
"Who was supposed to be watching for you?"
Flynn doesn't look at me right away, instead choosing to pull the toothpick he's chewing out of his muzzle to look at me. Chewing on, sorry. He's still embarrassed about yesterday. Good. Rude, that's a little rude. Like, come on. You know how he is. Let's see. Okay. That's alright. It wasn't hard to hear you guys from the front.
"Yeah, just doing some yard work, obviously."
He rubs behind his head. Oh, God.
"I promised my parents I'd get this done before they get back."
Carl starts snipping at the bush again. He's usually he's unusually sharp right now. I'm guessing because he hasn't had anything to smoke. Either way, it's jarring to see him so animated. Well, looks like you're doing a good job.
"Oh, he's only moving this fast because he wants to hang out with you, Chase."
Even though the sentence is technically being said to me, I feel like Flynn's directing it at Carl. Carl furrows his brow.
"Chase, you can go inside if you want. The back is open."
I think that's a good idea because it's clear now that I've walked into an argument.
"You should have seen him a few minutes ago. It was like he had a girlfriend coming over."
Carl sighs loudly, and his snips start to get a bit more violent.
"No, I'm just glad to have some company that isn't only you, Flynn."
Flynn looks annoyed, and that annoys me. He really didn't have the right to be frustrated with anyone after yesterday.
"Really? Always seemed to be enough for you in the past."
Flynn makes a kissy face. I have no idea if this is one of their inside jokes or not. Carl stops snipping for a second, then starts up again, more slowly.
"Well, you know, lizards can be fun, but they don't have all the parts that I like, if you know what I mean."
Carl smirks sideways at Flynn. Flynn sneers back, and though I've decided that they're still joking, there's definitely a growing tension between them.
"What you saying there, Carl?"
Carl stops snipping the plants and plants the point of the clippers into the ground, leaning on it as he turns to face Flynn.
"What I'm saying is you've got no
Before Carl can finish his sentence, Flynn turns to his right, away from him. This also brings the fat tail around to slam into Carl's crotch with a whip. That makes me cringe. A little deserved. A little deserved. Carl jumps. I'm gonna sneeze. That's fine. That's fine. Excuse me. Carl jumps, then squeaks before toppling to the ground.
"Oh man, my nuts!" "Yeah, definitely wish I had those. All dangly and vulnerable and shit. Anyway, I'll leave you two sluts alone."
Flynn sticks the toothpick back into his muzzle, and I have to consciously try not to cover my crotch while he walks by me. He hasn't looked at me this whole time. A little rude, Flynn. A little bit rude. Once Flynn's gone, I sidle up to the Carl, who's still curled up into a ball on the ground, holding himself while he mutters under his breath. You alright? Ah, hello, Sauki.
Fuck no!
There's not really anything I can do, so I just rub his shoulder with a toe comfortingly, and he freezes up as I do, looking at my foot.
I'm alright though.
Oh my god. He gets himself into a sitting position before he gets up awkwardly, standing bow-legged. I forgot how much Flynn likes to hit people in the nuts.
I'll get him back. It still hurts him if you hit him hard enough.
As he stands there, doubled over with his paws on his knees, I look around. Carl's house has actual grass in the back, which is rare in Echo. Most people either xeriscape? Is that what is this? Xeriscape? Or just let the sagebrush take over. Another rarity are the two tall trees on either side of the yard. That's when I notice how empty one of them looks. Hey, where'd the treehouse go? Carl follows my gaze.
Oh yeah, my dad took it down a few years ago. It was falling apart.
His dad also built the treehouse. I can remember hanging up there, playing on my portable game consoles with a fan at full blast. Even then, it was still almost too hot to hang out up there. I walk up to the base of the tree and put my hand against the trunk, grinning. Man, remember all the shit we did up there? Carl shuffled up next to me, still bow-legged, and grins too.
Yeah, good times.
I think about climbing it, but I notice that the branch we used to use as a foothold has been cut off. Your dad ruined this thing. Carl scrapes up the spot where the branch used to be with a hoof.
Yeah, I guess it made the mowing harder, and we didn't use it anymore, so we just cut it off.
I can see Carl looking for a way up too, and soon enough, his eyes settle on a branch just above his head. I don't know if Carl's already jumping to grab onto the branch with both paws. It doesn't look very sturdy. Dude, that's gonna break!
So, I'm fucking fat, I'll bounce.
Ah, there it is. There's truly a CG of all time, right? I'm about to tell him about, again, that the branch is definitely going to break when I notice his shirt riding up all the way up his round belly. It's not like he's a bag of lard, though. It's a controlled type of gut, held tight with the muscles underneath, pulling as he flexes. He notices me staring right away and kicks out at me playfully.
A pervert! First my moobs, and now this!
I jump back, and he tries to follow me with a bigger swing of his legs, and that's when the branch snaps loudly. Carl goes down once again, squarely on his back. No, excuse me. Yeah. Okay. Oof. I cover my face instinctively, but I still hear the hollow thud, followed by the whoosh of breath going out of his lungs. So sorry. Slowly, I lower my paws and find the chubby ram rolling back and forth on the ground, eyes wide as his mouth hangs open. A distant memory comes to mind of a time when we were both 10, and Carl was showing me a trick with his new bike ramp. Oh god. The handlebars ended up in his gut when he landed, and he spent the following minute rolling around on the ground just like this. Hello, Shadow Foxy Glitch. That's a long name, but hello. Good times. Shit. I suck in air through my teeth and kneel next to him again, patting him uselessly. After a few seconds of hesitation, I reach over and grab the front of his waistband of his shorts and pull up on it. Even though he's completely deflated, he looks at me with a bizarre expression and swats at my paw, giving a few breathless snorts as he tries to laugh. Hey, it's supposed to help you breathe. I've seen the coaches do it at school. I'm realizing that Carl's way too heavy to arch up like that, so I give up and end up just petting his stomach, wishing I could help somehow. Just, just stretch out. His breath is already coming back, but he follows my instructions anyway, and we sit there for a while, the silence punctuated by his heavy breathing. Hello, Chase. Hello. I start laughing. Jesus Christ, Carl. Can you go one day without hurting yourself? Reminds me of someone I know. He chuckles too, his belly shaking under my paw.
Now you know why I don't go outside. Ugh.
He slumps back for a while, taking in deep breaths before lifting his head again. Sorry. He looks down his chest and at my paws and grins.
It seems like you can't keep your paws off me, though.
I move my paw, letting him pull down his shirt as he grunts and sits up. How about I just let you suffocate next time?
I almost did, laughing while I couldn't breathe. I thought you were trying to grab my dick.
I put my paws on my hips. Is it because I'm gay?
That might just be it.
Carl grabs the branch that had broken off the tree and quirks up the corner of his mouth.
Ugh, Dad's not gonna be happy about that.
Who cares? It's just a branch.
You know my dad.
He gets up and tosses the branch over the fence into the desert, then turns back to me.
So, now that it feels like a lucha fucking lobo just gave me
that's probably a move of some sort. I'm not even gonna try.
I think I'm done for the day. Want to work on your project now?
I'd honestly rather just hang out with Carl, but the sun's enough to put a damper on that. Carl's house is like a labyrinth. Just you wait, Chase. I think he's once told me that it has over 30 rooms, which is fucking insane. The living room is about 5 times larger than one in my parents' house, and it's hard to miss what looks like a 100-inch flat screen against the wall. According to Carl, the first mansion was even bigger, though. After getting a drink, he leads me straight downstairs into the basement. Down the hallway, we pass a small home theater, what looks like an entertainment room with a bar, and then a small gym. The quick glance I get shows at least 10 fitness contraptions. After that, things get a little more dingy, and I can see how portions of the foundation could be decades old. Finally, at the end of the hall, Carl opens a door, and I can see from the ceiling that it's under the stairs we just came down. Carl waves his paw around and finally grasps something before pulling up. An old light bulb, yes, comes on, and I see there's a little door with a small latch on it. What? Josh, how can you date Sydney if you don't know any wrestling? Well, you see, all the wrestling I know comes from, like, the 70s TV series Tiger Mask, so I'll probably be fine. He opens it, and I'm greeted with a musty smell as Carl slides through the opening. I follow tentatively, making sure I'm not walking into any cobwebs. Are there a lot of spiders down here?
I don't think so. We sprayed a few weeks ago.
It's extremely dark, and I hear Carl grunting next to me.
Ugh, there's a floodlight here somewhere. Here it is.
This background. Comforting. Like everything in this house, it's big for a crawl space. Pillars sprout from the ground in 2 rows that stretch back almost into darkness. The ground is covered in a tarp, and I see dozens of plastic bins lining the walls. This is a lot of shit.
Yup. It's a few generations worth of shit.
I walk over the tarp to look into one of the bins, but all I see is clumps of clothes and towel through the cloudy plastic towel. Is that an action? Cloth and towel. Oh, okay. Wait, clumps of cloth and yes. Okay, sorry. I am. Oh, I'm like, is that a motion? Is that a thing? No, that's just cloth and towels. Okay, I understand. I'm getting there. Carl walks past me straight towards the back of the crawl space, his big hooves clopping aloud.
I actually helped them sort through all of this last year, so I think I know where it is.
I follow him, but it's hard to see in the darkness. It should probably be Pearl, but that was rough. Yeah, it was. It was rough. You know, it's just words are hard, guys. It's a language I do not know. Should we get a flashlight?
Nah, it's only 2 tubs, I think. We'll just pull them to the front.
I stand off to the side as I watch him push bins around, looking at the labels on top. I look over at one of them and see home movie written on it, and it's filled with cassettes.
Ugh, don't remind me.
I look up and see that Carl notices me staring at the bin. What? Carl grunts as he lifts up a bin and drops it pretty carelessly to the floor. I'm pretty sure I hear something break.
Mom had me help her convert all of that to digital. Took all fucking year.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's in the cloud now. You're actually in a lot of those videos.
Yeah, really?
Yeah, birthday parties and shit.
Of course I would be. Carl's dad practically had a video camera glued to his eye back in the day. I used to hang out a lot with Carl, almost as much as I did Leo once we started going out. I even went to their family vacation a few times. But then me going out with Leo changed things. Looking back, I think Carl was kind of upset with that.
We can watch a few once we're done here, if you want.
Sure. That sounds like an old person thing to do, but I am curious.
Found it!
Carl slides out 2 plastic bins, and I see history written on the top.
Help me carry one.
Carl lifts up the top one and starts waddling back to the front. I bend over and lift the second, and I'm surprised at how fucking heavy it is. I'm worried I'm not even gonna get it off the ground for a few seconds, but I manage after a while. If Carl's bin is as heavy as mine, then he's a fucking beast at being able to lift and carry it like this. I stagger after him, almost certain that I'm gonna go head first into the wall. Once we make it back near the stairs, I bend over to set down. Ah. What is that over there? Oh. I don't know. That's like a fly. Okay. Yeah, I don't like that. That spooked me a little. Well, there it goes. Alright, friend. Just don't go over here. Kill it? I don't really have anything I can, like, really use to kill it. And, like, I'm bad at killing, like, flies. Because, you know, they got, like, more things going on, right? I mean, I can attempt. Can you? Yeah? Don't hide behind there. Hello, friend. Where'd you go? Eh? Ethel! Haku! Where'd you go? Okay, I don't know. It's fine. He's gone. Yeah. As long as it's not a wasp. I mean, it wasn't like a fly. It was like a more buggier looking guy, but like, it wasn't a wasp. Hopefully. Evaded Sag. I know, right? That lat's probably gonna die though. Like, that lat's probably gonna starve to death. Like, I don't know. There's nothing to eat down here. It is what it is. Once we make it back near the stairs, I bend over and set down my bin, and that's when I see a massive spider sitting on the lid. It takes about half a second for me to recognize the black shape and spindly legs. Oh, fuck! Okay. I scream and drop the bin, and before I know it, I'm halfway back from where we came, panting and shivering.
Holy shit! What happened?
I tremble and try to steady my voice. A fucking spider!
What? You're still scared of those? Man! For a second I thought my sister came home and then got murdered.
You told me there wasn't any.
I didn't say that. I just said we sprayed.
Oh my god. Is this route more silent than the others? Is it just me? Just get rid of it! At this point, I've shuffled a little closer back to the light, and I can see Carl grinning as he bends over to look at the lid of the bin.
Whoa! It's got babies on its back.
My body gives a violent, involuntary... There we go. Did we do things? Is what it is. Is what it is. There we go. Maybe the music dropped for the spook factor, or maybe it's because it was one of the first builds in coding and they just didn't put in a lot of music back then. Maybe that. Maybe that. He glances up at me, and that stupid smile still on his face.
Whoa! That was gay, but seriously, it's got a bunch of tiny babies on its back. I think it's a wolf spider.
I swear I'm gonna pass the hell out if he doesn't stop talking. I cover my face. Please?
All right. I didn't know you were that scared of him. You should probably get that checked out.
Considering that I'd almost crashed my car into the garage... Wait. Now that I'd almost crashed into the garage in my parents' house, when a spider crawled out of the AC, he's probably right. Just kill it!
Why would I do that?
I watch as he tilts the bin sideways.
It's not gonna hurt anyone.
I mean, it can. Like, you can't guarantee that it won't. Like, it do be that way. I want to tell him that those babies are only going to grow into 100 more giant wolf spiders. But I realize I'll just come off as a bloodthirsty asshole, so I bite my lip as I watch the black spot skitter off into the darkness. I walk back towards Carl, hugging my shoulders as I try to control the chills running through. Now I'm gonna be paranoid the whole time that it's gonna come back out to get me. Carl rubs my back when I stand next to him.
They actually clean up a lot of the other bugs that get into the house.
Yeah, well, I'd rather be covered in ants than spiders. What about you all? Would you rather be covered in ants or spiders? What's your preference? It's clear he's trying not to laugh at me as he starts popping the lid off his bin. On the top are a few framed pictures, and under those are a few more cardboard boxes. I release the latch on the other bin, keeping my eyes on for any black spots that might jump out at me. Regular ants or fire ants? Roll a die for it. This one is filled with bundles wrapped in cloth and paper. Carl drags his bin to the steps so that he can sit on them, and I follow suit.
How do you think you'll use this stuff?
I unwrap a smaller bundle and look at the golden pocket watch underneath. Whoa, well, I'm not totally sure. It depends on what we find. Might film a few things. Spiders, either I die or they're harmless. I hate ants, not afraid of them, just hatred. I see. Lots of things. I feel like I can brush off ants with less, negative things happening. I feel like brushing off spiders off the body would be like, oh man, some of these are gonna bite and like actively cling because they're scared. Like, no. There's a paper tag attached to the chain with, Robert Hendricks written on it. Who's this? I hate wasps. I used to run from them if they flew by. I still run from them if they, fly by, you know? It's fine. It is what it is. Carl gives me a glance.
No idea. Probably a great uncle or something.
I wrapped up pocket watch and reached back into the bin to pull out the next item. There's something really cool about old stuff. My mind wanders to who might have made it, who bought it, and how much shit it must have seen. History was my first choice in major, and what? History was my first choice to major in? Okay, I understand that sentence now. But Dad put a stop to that pretty quick. What? That's what my dad majored in. I pull out various other things. Dolls, a pipe, coins, and another pocket watch. I feel like this is worth a lot of money. Oh, why don't they sell it?
Probably, but it's family stuff, and I think they want to do the museum.
He gives me an awkward cough.
Besides, we already got plenty of money.
Yeah, we got ice cream money. He's got that binder open, looking at black and white photos behind the plastic.
Hey, this is him, right?
He points at a picture of a very dignified-looking ram, thumbs in his vest, wearing one of those big top hats. A fox stands next to him in a similar pose. Kind of wish there was a, like, CG for that, or, like, a photograph of some kind, you know, that they show. Which kind of would be nice. I can see a piece of yellowed paper set behind the photo and tug it out. James Hendricks, yep, definitely him. And John Begay, huh? That's Jenna's last name. Carl's phone starts buzzing and he grunts as he leans back to pull it out of his pocket.
Hey Mom, helping Chase with a project.
You have signal in this crawl space? Amazing.
No, of course not.
I look over at him, but he gets up and clops back up the steps. Looking back down at the picture, I wonder if it's just coincidence, but I don't think so. Jenna's family has been an Echo since the beginning, too, so this guy definitely has to be a relative of some kind. Okay. I take a picture of the photograph with my phone. I'll show it to Jenna later and ask if she knows anything about it.
To do that without a car?
Carl raises his voice, so I look back up the steps, wondering if I should close the door. Hearing him angry like that didn't feel right. His parents are always kind of hard on him, but I guess they had their reasons. I spend the next 20 minutes shuffling through the bins, trying to be careful not to break anything. I decide I have enough and put the lids back on the bins, lining the stuff I picked out along one of the steps, since I don't have anywhere else to put them. By the time I head back up into the actual basement, Carl's gone. As I approach Carl's room, I smell it before I even open the door. He's reclined on his bed, an arm thrown over his face, the big window above him open. Carl's clothes are scattered all over the floor, along with a few empty water bottles and bowls. Every inch of the walls are covered in posters, like I remember, along with a few on the ceiling. Bookcases line the opposite wall, filled to the brim with comics and toys. He raises up his arms, and I walk in and smile.
Sorry about the mess, dude. It's hard to keep everything clean when my parents aren't here to yell at me about it.
The lazy, crackly sound in his voice has returned, full force. His eyes are distant. It's okay. Are you okay? He grins toothily.
Dude, I'm more than okay.
Since there's nowhere else to sit, I end up sitting down at the foot of his bed. Do they let you smoke in here? The smell in his room is layered and old, like the walls have been blanketed in the smell of several times before.
Yup. They gave up trying to stop me. Better to be in a house rather than getting caught by the cops outside. They just made me promise I wouldn't even try something harder. A good thing they don't know I've already tried dick.
He puts a lot of emphasis on the K as the bad joke seems to just dribble out of his muzzle. I lean back on the bed, and that's when I noticed his flat screen, just 48 inches in on, a list of video files displayed on it. I was hoping it was Jim in the picture, but Cirrus, Jim wasn't a character when this came out. Like, the majority of the cast of Smoke Room probably weren't created yet. So, like, it couldn't be. Oh, what you watching?
Oh.
Carl grunts as he sits up and reaches for a game controller.
Our old home movies. Was gonna show you some of them. How about a birthday?
Sure. He scrolls down the list, and then stops when Carl's 8th is highlighted and presses to play. Yeah. The backyard I was in an hour earlier pops up on the screen. Oh, okay. Music. And now a long table sits in the middle of the lawn, along with a massive bounce house. And not just any bounce house, but a giant 2-story one you'd find at a state fair. The video is timestamped April 19th, 2002. Fuck, I remember this. There are about 20 kids, mostly in the bounce house, and most of whom I've forgotten. Right now, though, the camera's zooming in on an 8-year-old Carl. He's messing with a giant Nerf gun, the kind that no kid ever gets because they're so damn expensive. And that's when 8-year-old me enters the picture, holding up a much smaller Nerf gun. His parents gave everyone a goodie bag that day. It had toys in it that I might not have been able to get on my own birthday. My kid self puts the gun to Carl's head and pulls the trigger, the dart bouncing off one of his horns. I specifically remember that moment. I had thought the suction end of the dart was going to stick, but of course it didn't. The audio is filled with a deep chuckle. Carl's dad behind the camera.
You were a dick back then.
What? I was 8!
Still, you blew out my candles.
Oh, yeah. He got so mad about that. I start to settle back and smile. It's been a long time since I've watched a home movie, and I'd forgotten how nice it is to have this method of looking back. Kind of like when I get stuck on scrolling through all of the old movies on my phone. My younger self is trying to help Carl with the gun, lifting up the barrel and looking into the opening. Careful! Kid Chase pulls his head back with a jolt as Carl's dad yells. The mutter behind the camera. Then mutter behind it.
Let's see how long it takes him to trick Carl into trading with him.
And Carl's dad sounds exasperated, but good-natured. It still makes me blush a bit, now knowing how aware Jim was of me taking advantage of his son. Our struggles with the Nerf gun gets the attention of another kid, though. My breath catches in my throat as Sydney bounces in the frame, the better otter. I can feel Carl tense up next to me, too, and he starts to lean for the game controller.
And here comes the Mormon boy.
The disgust in Carl's dad's voice shocks me, and I hear Carl whisper a curse next to me as he fumbles for the controller. Sydney reaches out and pulls the gun away from Carl as he looks it over, grinning.
Hey!
Suddenly, the screen switches back to the file menu, and we both sit there in silence for a few seconds. Sydney's dad said Mormons can go to heaven too.
Oh. Sorry, I forgot about that.
Look, I remember. Look, it's fine, Ian. We got it. I remember thing. It's good. It's good. Of course, Cindy was going to be at that party, but I'd honestly forgotten too. If there was any way to perfectly ruin the mood, that had been it. I glance over at Carl and see him looking down at the gamepad, ears lowered, the insides red. Hey, it's okay. I mean, maybe it's a good thing to watch.
My dad. I didn't know he'd say that. I'd rather not find what else he'd said.
Oh, yeah. I look around, trying to find something, anything to distract us from what just happened. My eyes fall on the shelf behind Carl's game library. Oh, want to play a game? Oh, I like this track. It's kind of smooth, you know. It's just like old times as we play co-op through Winter Castle. The fact that he still has the old save file from when he was in college makes it all the more nostalgic. I get so into it that it gets dark outside without me even knowing, and pretty soon I'm looking out at the purple sky reluctantly. About time I go back. Carl sighs and pauses the game before stretching and dropping the controller onto his bed.
Aw, come on. Sure you can't stick around.
I don't know. I don't have any clothes or a toothbrush.
We can walk over and get them.
Carl seems pretty determined to make me stay, and there's not one reason why I can't, so I relent. All right, yeah. This could be fun.
Yes.
Carl looks happy and almost relieved.
It'll be just like old times.
He rolls to his hooves. His hooves, you know? The hoovy boy.
And, what? And speaking of old times, let's make a pizza!
I've suddenly caught Carl's enthusiasm. We go into the massive kitchen and pull a big frozen pizza. I mean, I guess the thing that the frozen pizzas are in are kind of a bag. I guess that's not incorrect of my brain, but it is incorrect for the sentence that's in front of me. From the fridge, and while it bakes, we sit on the counter and talk. I want a pizza. It's too late to go get a pizza. I don't have ingredients for a pizza. Walmart's closed already. I hate that. I miss when Walmart was 24 hours. You know? You can just drive there and buy ingredients. Like, sometimes I would like get in the mood to cook whatever I want at like 2 in the morning. And you know, because there's a Walmart like 5-7 minutes drive from my place, so it's easy. It would just be go stop in, get pick and go, self checkout, you know, cartwheel back to the car, get back home, like make thing, right? Yeah, I can't do that anymore. It's sad. At this point, the haze of pot has lifted from Carl's face, and he's animated and excited again, swiveling on one of the counter stools. Fuck the pandemic, right? I miss 24-hour services. I really do. For the first time in almost 10 years, I'm giddy and excited in the way that you only get when you're at a sleepover. That makes it a little jarring when he pulls out some beers. Amazing. But I'm happy to have a few, and we guzzle them down as we talk about past sleepovers. I mean, you probably had beers when you were with Leo, probably. He was probably like giving you beer while you're underage. That sounds like a Leo thing to do. Pretty soon, our reminiscing drifts into the present, and that's when the conversation slows a bit, Carl having less to say. I try to change the subject and tell him that he should come back to school. He just smiles and shakes his head. Huh? Oh, okay. Okay. 3 hours later, we're both lying back on Carl's bed, head to toe, just having just watched a silly action movie. We didn't end up going out to get my stuff, so I'm just in my boxers, pleasantly drowsy and buzzed. I hear Carl snuffle and look down my chest at him. What's up? He looks over at me and shrugs.
Nothing, just thinking.
What about? During our past sleepovers, Carl had always been afraid to be the the last to fall asleep. Oh, it's this track. Okay. He'd try to keep me up by talking, rolling over on top of me, and sometimes just throw shit at me. That feels weird, head to toe. Yeah, I just trying not to think about that sentence. I wonder if that's what he's doing now.
I don't know. Life?
That's a lot to think about.
Not for me.
I look over at him again. He's holding one paw up, looking through his fingers at the ceiling. You're just figuring things out. Carl lets his arms flop down over his head, blowing out a sigh.
I'm not figuring things out, man.
I don't say anything. It's cool that he's reaching out to me, but I'm not sure I can offer any advice that he hasn't heard before.
I just wish I could be doing something.
I think for a moment. You've done a lot more than some people I know. I mean, your art is great. You did go to school even if you dropped out, and you were working while you could. There are a lot of people out there who can't even say that. Carl laughs, and it's a sad kind of laugh.
Try saying that to my mom. She has always got something to do. Always wants to do something. I just don't feel that.
He turns his head towards me.
I wish I did, Chase. But I just can't.
His voice catches in his throat, and I shrink a bit into the bed and pretend not to notice. The beer we've had is definitely partly to blame for this. He turns his head towards the wall, though, and I'm guiltily relieved that when he talks again, his voice is under control.
I just wish it wasn't such a goddamn chore for me to go outside. You know?
I didn't know, but I nod anyway, even if he can't see. He's waiting for me to say something, though, so I clear my throat. What do we pick, folks? What do we pick? Do we tell him like it is? Or do we... The famous quote, "It's fine, look. Now look here, Ian." Now look here. Chase is just like me for fur. Oh. But it's fine is hilarious. We know the answer, Josh. Yeah. It's gotta tell him like how it is, right? Don't take this the wrong way, but maybe you should see a therapist. He snorts and finally turns his way to look back at me, his horns bumping the wall loudly.
Huh, I already do. I thought they'd just give me a pill to make things better, but apparently I have to actually make an effort, too. And I'm like, isn't that why I'm seeing you? For the whole making an effort thing.
I'll laugh along with him. Yeah, I can remember what that's like. He watches me for a few seconds.
So, is all that, or all those problems you had, taken care of now?
I hope so. We lay in silence for a little while before I finally speak up. Listen, I'll probably come back a few times this week to work with that history stuff. Well, why don't we go out and do something?
That would be nice.
I grin, glad at making Carl feel better. Cool, well, let's plan on it. Carl puts his paws behind his head and smiles.
It's cool that you're here, Chase.
It's cool to be here, Carl.
And not just because it's nice to have someone to talk to.
Oh?
No. This house is fucking haunted.
Yeah? Gonna elaborate? No? Fine. Okay. I don't remember falling asleep, but it's at that moment that something washes over me. I jolt, then look there, and wait, then lay there, trying to remember where I am. Carl's house, that's right. I stare at the ceiling, wondering what time it is. I don't bother to look at my phone, though, because I'm already trying to fall back asleep. A scraping noise from beneath me makes me jump, and I prop myself up on my elbows, listening. Looking around, I see Carl staring at the ceiling, eyes wide. Carl? I whisper, and I'm not sure why. He jumps, then looks at me, confused, like he'd just woken up.
Huh?
Are you okay?
Yeah, what's wrong?
I think I hear something. His floppy ears perk up.
I don't.
Then his eyes widen. Although I didn't hear anything right then, he definitely did. You hear it?
Yeah, it's a scraping noise I told you about.
Yeah? He looks happy.
Ha! So I'm not fucking crazy.
You could still be crazy. We both sit there and listen for a while, but it sounds like it stopped.
Wanna go see what,
Suddenly, his eyes widen and his muzzle drops open in shock. I stare back. What?
Did you fucking hear that?
I listen, feeling my heartbeat pick up now that Carl looks fucking terrified, but I don't hear anything. What?
A fucking voice!
The fur raises all over my body as I listen. But nothing. Carl definitely seems convinced, though, so I listen harder. I just stare to make out what might be a voice when Carl sits up next to me and gets out of bed. I feel myself start to panic. Did some crazy hobo break into the house? Carl gets off the couch.
Come on!
What? What the fuck are we gonna do? Let's call the cops.
No. Let's make sure first. This has happened before.
What? What do you mean? He puts a finger up to his lips.
Grab something.
What? I follow Carl out into the kitchen, and he starts rummaging through drawers. I follow him, hugging my shoulders, feeling a lot colder right now. Huh? I like this track. This track. I think it's probably plays the most in Carl's route. Ah. When I'm lying in the darkness, does it? Okay. With the sound of metal sliding against metal, Carl pulls out a giant steak knife. Ah, having some dinner. What the fuck?
Dude, I've been hearing this shit for the past month, and I've been too scared to go down there. But now with you here...
He flashes me a smile.
I'm gonna find out what the fuck this is! Here.
He reaches into a spot between the fridge and the wall and pulls out a broom before sticking it out to me. I take it slowly. What the hell am I supposed to do with this?
Hit him! Come on!
Carl starts down the stairs, and I follow behind, holding the broomstick in front of me like a sword. I've never had to hit anyone with a stick before. I have no idea what I'm doing. Once we get to the small door leading down to this crawl space, Carl pauses and we both listen. It's silent for a while, then. Shit. Carl looks at me like I'm crazy, not reacting to the noise at all.
Shush!
He leans down, a paw on my hand, on the handle. Yes, not my handle. On the knife handle. Looking back at me, he signals me with his eyes to be ready. I grip onto the broom like a lifeline as wait for him to swing the door open, and when he does, darkness.
Shit.
So whatever is down here and the is just slinking around in complete darkness.
Hey!
Carl says it convincingly. The fear clear in his throat voice. Then, after looking back at me,
Fuck it.
he jumps down into the crawl space, disappearing into the dark. Carl? I stumble up to the edge of the steps, trying to squint into the black. I hear Carl to the right, rustling around and cursing. That's when light floods the crawl space. I quickly wobble down the steps, knowing that if whatever is down here is going to try to escape, it would be running right into me. So they should have written this specific scene to where Chase trips into the crawl space. Right? That's what it should be. That's what it should have been. Gotta foreshadow things. Finally, I have a moment to catch my breath, standing several feet behind Carl as I look around, broom at the ready.
There's nothing here. What the fuck?
Sure enough, the crawl space looks empty. There aren't many places to hide either. What the hell's going on, Carl? But he doesn't answer me. He's staring at the bins. Tripping is foreshadowing? Yes. Yes, it is.
Did you put the bins back?
Well, I look down and the bins are gone. I look back at the wall where they were originally, and sure enough, they're neatly stacked right where we found them. I honestly don't remember. Did I move them back? Maybe. It would have been something I might do. I try, but I just can't remember. Maybe.
Dude, come on!
I really don't remember. Carl walks further towards the back, ears perked, looking left and right as he clutches his knife. I start to follow, but that's when I notice something on the left of my vision on the ground. Looking down, I see something fat and hairy, ambling slowly over the tarp. A giant fucking tarantula. The following few moments are a blur, but the next thing I know, I'm going up the stairs on my feet and pause, grabbing at the door frame to pull myself up.
Chase, what happened?
I can hear him running up behind me, so I turn to warn him. Look! It's a big spider! The breath keeps catching in my throat. I think I'm hyperventilating. I'm still clutched onto the door frame as Carl follows behind me, his eyes wide.
What? Come on, Chase! This is crazy!
No! Huge! Blonde!
No fucking way.
Now he looks excited. Excited? Carl. No. And he turns back to the crawl space. I feel numb right now. This is all too much to handle. What the fuck is even going on?
Which way?
Shakily, I point towards where the spider was crawling. Carl squints, then walks down the steps, looking around. Careful!
If there was really a blonde, that's not much to worry about. I hear they're actually pretty gentle.
That doesn't matter. They look horrifying. They're spindly, and they do the things, and they walk around in an odd way. I don't like it. And they got those fangy things. I don't like. No. I gulp and don't say anything. My head is pounding and buzzing, which for some reason doesn't really feel like it has anything to do with the adrenaline rush. It's more like a bad headache. Carl looks around a while longer while I focus on the steps, making sure nothing starts crawling up them. I don't even care about the possible hobo anymore. Finally, Carl comes back, looking confused.
Well, there's nothing there, you know. Sometimes I see shit when I'm really tired. Wanna go back upstairs?
There's nothing there. This can't be fucking happening again. Yeah, see, nothing wrong. Nothing happened. We do thing, we go. Party popper. Yes, do it. Go. Fun. I open my eyes slowly. The pressure in my head tells me I didn't get nearly enough sleep. Not really a surprise considering we both we were both up until like 3. And our own ghost adventure a few hours later didn't help. Well, I don't like that. There's a big doorbell go long. I hear the doorbell and realize that's what had woken me up. Groaning, I reach under my pillow and feel around for a few seconds before I find my phone. The lump that is Carl under the blankets near my feet doesn't even budge. That was the cool thing about having Carl as a roommate. He slept like a fucking rock. I did pretty much anything I wanted to and didn't have to worry about him reporting me to the RA, even something like jerking off. That only happened a few times, though. The rabbit I'm rooming with now is a different story. Yeah, it's this route that we hear about the reboot. Again, the doorbell. I glance at my phone, 10 a.m. Never heard of her. I also noticed I have 5 texts and 2 calls.
Hey. Sorry, hey. On way to Carl's house for a surprise party.
Leo? Where's the you? God damn it. I'd have words with Leo about this. I'd have words with using, like, the number 4. Just type it out. Like, misspellings, that's fine. That's understandable. I get it. I do it too. But why like this? Why is party spelled like that? Why is there no A? Party. It's just, no. No, I don't like it.
Make sure you're ready. Hello?
That sounds like the reverse of a surprise party. Wait, Chase jacks off while Carl was there? I mean, when they were roommates in college, right? So, like, if, like, Carl was asleep, Chase is sitting there, prick in hand. You know. Things gotta get done. I look down, then nudge some part of Carl with my foot. Judging by the thickness and consistency, I'm pretty sure it's his ass. He grunts.
What?
I think someone's at the door. He doesn't say anything, and a few seconds later, his guttural snores start up again. This time, I really dig my foot in, and he yelped loudly, sitting up so fast his horns banged against the wall. He squinted against the sunlight pouring in between the blinds, which turns his emerald eyes into an almost mint green. I raise up a paw to block out the sun and looks at me frowning.
What the hell was that?
The doorbell goes off again. Door. Carl blinks at me, then slumps back down. Yeah, on his pillow, waving a paw lazily in the air.
Let it ring. They'll go away eventually.
Huh? Are you sure? He flops his paw around again.
Solicitor, trust me. They see this house and make a beeline. No one else visits.
I sighed, looking back down at my phone. Oh, look, Leo texted me. That's probably him at the door. I guess my tone was surprising. My tone of surprise was a little too fake, because Carl sits up and eyes me suspiciously. Oh, by the way, Josh, how long are you planning on streaming? As long as it takes. I don't have a schedule. I don't have schedules for how long I stream. I just stream and go, you know.
Well, you can go ahead and answer it. You're allowed to touch my door.
No. Okay. I sigh a little harder this time. Damn it, Carl. Fine. They're planning a surprise birthday party for you, so go down there, answer the door, and act surprised.
What?
Carl. But Carl's not just confused, he looks genuinely upset. He leans into the corner and pulls up the blanket and, like he's preparing to ward off the boogeyman.
Oh, my birthday isn't until next month.
I pause, watching him. I know, but we didn't have much to do, so Leo thought... I slide off the bed and start pulling on my jeans and a shirt. Jeans? Jeans? This is Chesu. He wears tan cargo shorts. What do you mean, jeans? And a shirt. Come on, I'll go down with you. Carl covers his face and rubs hard, the short fur on his muzzle bristling out in little spikes around his fingers.
I just want to relax today, you know?
Isn't that every day for you? I laugh to lighten the jab, but Carl just frowns.
Well, not with you.
Excuse me? Excuse me? I'm starting to wonder if all of this isolation has worsened Carl's issue, if he really has gotten the help he needs. That all of this hiding out has just blanketed the problem and let it fester underneath. We can relax. We're all friends here, Carl. Come on. I pick up his clothes left on the floor from yesterday and toss them at him. I'm at least relieved to see him putting them on, even if it's reluctant. My phone buzzes a few more times, but I ignore it and patiently wait for Carl to finish getting dressed. I think this will be a lot of fun. He doesn't say anything as he slowly rolls off the bed and puts on his shorts. Surprise! Right? Surprise. Thing. Yeah, excite. You do it.
Happy not really your birthday, bitch.
Flynn's great, guys. Flynn's great. Look at this. Look at this line. It's beautiful. As I open the door and a blast of confetti hits my face, along with a loud pop that leaves my ears ringing. TJ, and not the face. Sorry. I slowly pull the papery string of confetti off from around my ears, and the smell of fireworks sting my nose.
Where the fuck's Carl?
I look behind me and step over to the side a bit, revealing Carl, who's got his arms folded tightly, head dipped.
Good thing I didn't open the door. Happy birthday.
Leo bustles in, carrying 2 bags. Jenna follows, carrying medium-sized cylindrical cake covered in white frosting. Cylindrical, not circular. Not circular cake. Cylindrical. That makes me think that this cake is tall, right? Like imagine like a cake, but it's like the size of a Pringles can. It'd be beautiful. Cylindrical cake covered in white frosting. Carl perks a bit when he sees this, his long ears bouncing.
Hey, is that red velvet?
Yeah, Flynn says it's your favorite. A store-made, though. I would have made it myself if Leo would have warned us in advance.
Hey, I just came up with this like 2 days ago.
Flynn engages Carl. Okay, yes. You know. Sky Striker mobilize engage, yes. Carl with some fake punches, while Leo sets the bags down on the table before turning to me with his voice low. Red velvet isn't bad, just mediocre. I prefer red velvet to like a regular chocolate cake. I find that chocolate cakes are a little too rich, while red velvet has a bit more of a smoother taste and texture to it. You know what I mean?
Just, so you know, your gift is a horn band.
Okay, so is everything alright? With Flynn, I mean. Josh, you disappoint me. Look, as someone who used to, like, practice baking cakes and stuff, chocolate cakes were always really unwieldy to try to get right and are just annoying to bake compared to, like, vanilla or red velvet. I'm just saying. Leo glances over at the lizard, quirking the corners of his mouth up towards his ear.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, it's been a while since we've seen this portrait. Look at him. Look at him. He's got big arms.
It'll take him a bit of time to settle, for him to settle down, but he already sort of apologized while you were gone. So, that's a start at least, yeah.
I exhale. Okay. Carl, where are your plates?
The cupboard, second door over.
Now that Flynn is not shoving him around. Oh god, excuse me. Carl is standing awkwardly next to the table, paws fidgeting.
So, why are we doing this? It's not until next month.
Because whatever, Carl. Because whatever. Are you so against just people over? You're getting free cake. You're getting free things. You're seeing your friends. What, did you not like Sunday? Was it Sunday? The day that, like, they went to the amusement park? Did you not like that, Carl? Did you not like hanging out with your friends? This is the last week you'll ever be able to do this.
Why are we doing this? It's not until next month.
Leo shrugs, frowning.
We just wanted to do something, really. Oh, I mean, there's not much to do, you know.
Cheesecake best? Come on, boy. Is it the best? I don't know. I've never liked, well, it really depends on the cheesecake. I like my cheesecake a very specific way. If it's too creamy to the point where, like, I feel like I'm just eating, like, melted cream, I don't like it. I don't like it if there's too much of a tang. I kind of like it more of a... I like when the cheesecake is, like, very solid and has more of a, doesn't have that, like, a strong cream cheese after, like, tang at the end. But, it's, you know, to each their own with that, you know. Usually I just go, hold the cake, I don't want it, right? Like, the last few parties I went to, I just didn't have the cake. I just said no. Like, you do you. Like, do you have any candles anywhere, Carl?
No. I don't think so. What's up, man? I haven't had your morning joint yet. Lighten up.
Cheesecake is sour and has a bad aftertaste. You literally can prepare cheesecake in a way to where that doesn't happen, though, Cirrus. Like, you can do that. Like, and that's what I prefer. Like, I prefer things a bit more, less sour cream and more of, like, a general cream flavor, you know? Like, having a bit of, like, the tang is, like, you know, it makes it cream cheese, like a cheesecake, right? But I'm looking for more of a cream taste than a cheese taste, you know? Just me. Not saying one is better than the other. This is, like, my personal preference. Flynn snatches up one of Carl's horns and wobbles his head around. While it's something Flynn did to Carl a lot, the taboo act of grabbing someone's horns almost makes me gasp out loud.
Stop!
Carl shoves Flynn off and smooths his beanie down. Well, I guess we'll have to skip the candles. I told you we should have bought some, Leo. Why is Jenna so mean? What is that? That's twice? That's twice in this conversation. That, like, Jenna's just like, fuck you, Leo. Fuck you. For, like, no reason. She was weirdly pretty with it in Leo's route. I'm surprised. I kind of forgot about that. Is what it is. Leo throws his arms around his, out in a shrug.
What? Sue me if I thought they'd have everything we need in this mansion.
When is Jenna not aggro? Leo's route? You know? she was pretty tame there, all things considered. No kidding. You know how places you haven't been to since you were a kid look smaller than when you visit as an adult? TJ's eyes scan the tall ceilings. This place is still just as giant.
Sure, Tej.
Especially with what's coming. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Carl huffs out of breath.
Why didn't you guys tell me? I still need to take a shower. Quit being a pussy. You always smell like skunk. Now eat some cake.
Flynn grabs up the knife while Jenna sets out the plates. The frosting is so thick it practically absorbs the knife. I haven't had cake for breakfast since, like, your last birthday party, Carl. Carl doesn't say anything, instead sitting at the end of the table, a paws in his pockets.
You guys sure slept in. What were you guys doing all night?
I wait to see if Carl is going to say anything. When it's clear he isn't, I chime in. Video games, mostly. And a movie.
Fun. It's, something we could have all done together, though.
It would have been nice to do all of that together, right? Right. But usually Chase isn't around when more people do that sort of thing. Well, you had it in Flynn's route where they all went to go watch a movie at the theater together, and you and Flynn fucked instead.
Maybe for people who don't have a job to go to the next day.
I don't think that was a particular dig at Carl, but I don't miss the downward flick of his ears. You just want Leo to be there? I'm wounded. I like this cast. I would hang out and do group activities with them. Yes, I do want Leo to be there, though. You know, it'd be nice. It'd be nice. Flynn plops down a thick slice of cake onto Carl's plate, the inch-deep frosting making a splat sound.
Yeah, maybe we should just stick a
doobie? Stick a doobie? 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 I don't know.
In there and light it, huh?
Carl, who has perked up at the sight of the cake, shrinks back down with a frown. Weed? Is that what that is? Okay. And just a small slice, please. Flynn eyes TJ, who's holding out his plate and positioning the knife, ready to stab. Smaller, please.
Oh my god, loosen up. You're on vacation.
Flynn starts cutting the slice even bigger than Carl's was. Hey! Flynn. She says it so quietly, but the chill in her voice is clear, and so is the fact that things aren't completely okay. Flynn grunts, then cuts the cake again, this time with a slice that's just an inch wide.
That good?
Yeah, that's fine. Thanks. TJ moves away to sit down at the warm glow of our little get-together. Our little get-together chills. But Leo chips in. Yes, wait, I hate your brain? What did I do wrong? Did I say a word wrong? A word wrong, wait. Thing? Wait. Yes? Yes. Don't worry, Ian. I hate my brain, too. It's what you didn't do wrong? Oh my god. Yeah, there was a notable pause, wasn't there? I now have like a small panic attack anytime I see a Q. Like, TJ moves away to sit down, and the warm glow of our little get together chills. But Leo chips in with a laugh. I'm so glad this party went well this time. Sure, it's going well, Cirrus. Sure.
Make sure Chase gets a real big chunk. He's getting way too skinny.
I don't argue when Flynn slaps down a large slice on my plate, a little notch in the center where he tries to cut TJ's. I sit in the vacant seat next to Carl, where he's resting a cheek in his paw, methodically shoveling the cake into his maw. Everything okay?
Oh yeah. Yeah, everything's good.
I'm about to ask more, but Flynn points across the table at us.
Hey, Leo, wanna tell me about what we saw on the way here?
Oh, God, no. I look at Leo inquisitively, and even Carl's ears perk up a bit. What? Leo purses his lips like he's trying to decide whether or not to tell us.
Now might not be the best time.
Leo rolls his eye. Flinny boy rolls his eyes.
Screw it. You know Janice.
The waitress?
Yeah, of the mouthed out one at the diner. Come on, Flynn. Well, anyway, we were driving up Main Street towards the field, you know, with the rusted barbed wire and stuff.
TJ's hiding his face with a paw as he stares down hard at his cake. Uh-huh.
Well, when we turned around the bend, we saw Janice.
He keeps pausing for effect, and it's getting annoying. Okay, what happened?
Well, she was all crouched over, staring at the road, and Leo starts driving up to her. I thought she was having like a heart attack or something. Yeah, well, as we get closer, we saw that her pants were down.
I recoil a bit, not expecting that at all. What?
Yeah, and when we pulled up next to her, she just starts grinning at us, and then...
Flynn snorts out a laugh, covering his face like he still can't believe what happened. Can we not talk about this? It just makes me feel awful. What?
Well,
It's unusual to see Flynn at a loss for words.
Well, she just started pissing.
What? Why?
I don't know. She just smiled at us and started pissing. Heard it first, then looked down and saw it. And then Leo hit the gas.
Flynn sits back, done with his story, not exactly looking pleased with himself. I furrow my brow in confusion. Janice, she was one of the more well-adjusted people living in this town. Leo lets out a cough into the awkward silence.
I'm still trying to figure out what exactly happened. Like, maybe we missed something. Either way, she seemed fine a few days ago. Well, now I have more reason to never go into that diner again.
We sit there, awkwardly. I notice Carl still staring down at his now empty plate. I still can't figure out why Carl's being so quiet, but I see opportunity to get him to talk. And change the subject. Hey, didn't we have some weird stuff happen, Carl? Carl looks up at me.
Huh?
You know, the sound we were hearing.
Oh, yeah. What kind of sound?
Like bumping sounds and voices.
That sounds creepy.
Yeah, and Carl just charged down there like he wasn't even scared.
That seems dangerous.
Carl finally gives a little smile.
Well, having a hard head can make you act crazy sometimes. So, Did you find anything?
No, we're not sure what it was.
I'd watch out. Sounds like you got a pair of hobos banging out in your basement.
As we eat, Jenna leans over and starts pulling out presents from one of the bags. Sorry, Carl. We didn't even have time to wrap these up.
It's fine.
She pulls out a comic book from, out from TJ, a poster from Leo, and a manga from herself. I know you hate these things, but I think you should give it a chance.
I'll take a look. Thanks.
That smile portrait is just fucking. Oh my god. I'm gonna head out. Alright. See ya, Charles. And then this horn band from Chase. She pulls out an orange and black band from the bag. The colors of my school, Carl's former school.
Oh.
He seems to be struggling to find something to say.
Thanks. I didn't know people still wear these.
Leo suddenly shifts against the counter, realizing that he had to explain my present.
They're making a comeback. We saw a couple rams and then a stag that had them. Five of them on.
Then Carl glances at me, and I can tell he probably knows I didn't get it for him. Mainly because of the university logo, and also because we've made fun of them together a few years ago about how bro-y they were. I don't know if I should feel embarrassed or not, but my cheeks burn anyway. I promised myself to get him something thoughtful the next time we go into Peyton. That does not happen, does it?
Yeah, well, here's mine.
Flynn reaches into his pocket and pulls out something small hidden in his paw. He hands it to Carl, who looks confused for a second before his expression turns to one of interest.
Whoa!
It's a small metal rectangular box with two sharp points jutting out the top. I lean in for a closer look and realize those parts are horns, and there's a complex, elegant design of a ram's face etched out on the front of the box. Carl presses a thumb against one of the horns and pushes the top. Yeah, the top flicks up and over, and that's when I realize it's a lighter.
I saw it, and when I was over at the reservation, it made me think of you.
He reaches out and traces a finger along the horns and clicks it shut.
Thanks, Flynn. Yeah, now you look like a badass when you decide to get blazed. Yeah. Oh, sorry.
Oh, sorry, that was TJ. Wow.
Oh, sorry.
There we go. Gotta sound embarrassed. We all jump and look over at TJ, who's looking at the floor. His plate gone from the table. Form the table? Form. His plate gone, form the table. We got there, guys. We got there. Flynn starts to laugh, but catches himself. Don't worry about it. They've probably got 100 of those plates. Carl, where's your broom? He doesn't say anything, and we look at where Carl had been sitting a few seconds before, but he's gone, and so is another portion of the cake. Huh. Where'd he go?
Hey. Check between the walls of the fridge. I think, that's where I remember seeing it.
TJ gets down on his knees and starts picking up the large pieces. I look back at Carl's spot, then up the stairs. I'll be right back. Bathroom. I'm not sure why the deck is the first place I look, but it's where I find him. I watch him through the paneled curtains for a moment. He's sitting on a little swing set, facing out towards the glaringly bright desert. Yes. There's an empty plate with a fork on it next to him. Works fast. He's also toying with the lighter Flynn gave him, flipping it open and closed a few times and holding it up to the light. The smoke wafts up from his lap where I assume he's holding a joint. Quietly, I slide open the glass door and step out onto the wooden balcony. The deck is, of course, nice and big, stretching around half of the house. I see Carl's long ears twitch at the sound, and he lowers the lighter down into his lap, but doesn't turn around. Hey! He doesn't turn around. He does turn around, then, and smiles.
Shit! I thought you were Leo or something.
Would that have been a bad thing? I look around then, just decide to sit next to him on the swing.
He'd just have pulled me back to the party.
I look over at him. He's looking down at his lighter, turning it over in his paw. The hoof portions of his fingers. Hoof portions of his fingers. Okay. Making clacking sounds against the metal. Those things always fascinated me. It seemed like it should make holding things more difficult, but he seemed to manage just fine. Are you okay? Carl huffs out a chuckle and leans his head back against the cushioned back seating of the seat.
That's a great question. Everyone's always asking me.
You just seem really uptight is all. Carl's demeanor, yes, is a lot more relaxed now, obviously. As if to emphasize that thought, he takes another hit of his joint and holds his breath for a moment, then lets it out. The pungent smell envelops me.
I just don't get very being around so many people. You know that.
Well, yeah, but you were fine around them these past few days. Carl rubs his forehead hard and with the paw holding the joint, using his palm.
Yeah, well, things weren't about me then. Just felt a little put on the spot.
He coughs.
That shit that gets me nervous. Like, can't we just hang out and not make it about me?
I don't say anything, annoyed again that I can't grasp what he means. Am I making you nervous? Carl finally does look at me, then his massive horns sway towards me.
No, you never do, Chase.
I do look away at that point, almost feeling self-conscious at the way he opened up to me.
Yeah, and thanks for trying to get me to talk earlier. Just makes me feel guilty, though. The way people try and include me in things, and then I just disappoint them. But you just don't really force me into shit. Everyone feels like I need to do something. Why can't I just decide that for myself?
I push against the ground, making the swing sway a little, trying to think of the right thing to say. I mean, it's good to do stuff, right? You can't just sit around doing nothing forever.
I guess. It's just that I worry enough about it myself. I don't need other people doing it for me.
I lean back into the swing for a bit, looking over the desert.
Man, I'm hungry. Wish I'd brought more cake with me.
Not enough incentive to go back in?
Not yet.
I could go get you some. He smirks at me.
One of those fat fetishes. Just feeding me garbage so my moobs get bigger.
You don't have moobs. I felt them.
Yeah, I can't keep your paws off me. You have a thing for my fat ass.
I look him over, as if studying his figure.
Hey!
He covers his chest. Well, I do actually like bigger guys, and there's nothing wrong with extra weight, especially if it's carried well. He looks me over expectantly. Which you do.
Sweet! You know, you seem like you'd be a pretty dope boyfriend. Just feed me cake all day, then get off to the results.
I'm about to shoot back with something snarky when a stumbling figure catches my eye. I look out on the sun-baked asphalt of the road in front of Carl's house. I see a thin figure, a weasel, I think, running up the road. Running? Not sauntering, not trotting, not a jog, not a brisk walk, running. He stops, panting, paws on his knees, before he looks over his shoulder again. His whole body slumps, then, like the air has gone out of him, he's giving up on something. He turns around to look back up the road. He's far away, but even from here I can tell that he's talking. Carl looks over at my silence, then down at the road where I'm looking.
Huh.
Is that Duke?
Yeah. That's him. Must be on something. He usually is.
Duke finally turns around and starts to cower, his paws up in surrender. His lips are still moving, rapidly, reminding me of someone who's trying to say as much as they can, before something cuts them off. What do you think? I trail off as Duke suddenly whips his head around to look up at us, then starts pointing up at our balcony.
Uh-oh. Let's hope the doors are locked.
Carl chuckles, obviously finding the whole thing hilarious, but I'm a bit more on edge. I don't really feel like he's high, and Duke's movements are a lot more focused, more precise, like he's all there. And for some reason, it feels like he's looking directly at me. I furrow my brow, watching as the weasel turns towards us, sticking a foot out to take a step. The sound of the sliding glass door wrenching open nearly makes me jump out of my skin. Oh no. She's here. What the hell are you guys doing? Jenna marches around the swing set to stand in front of us, paws on her hips. She's doing the girl boss pose.
Whoa! What's up, Jenna?
Carl leans back in the swing, elbows over the back, smiling. The fox's eyes narrow as she sees the joint. Did you forget who this party was for? Carl shrugs and rubs his forehead again.
Leo, I'm guessing.
No, we spent all day yesterday getting this ready for you, especially Leo. Now get back downstairs and have your party. Carl sits quietly for a moment, then glances at me.
No, I don't think I will.
He's not smiling anymore, his face emotionless, a head turned back towards Jenna, but his eyes are wandering off towards the side, looking at the sky. Why not?
Because I don't fucking ask for it.
I pretend to look at my phone. What? A party? I'm so sorry we were trying to be thoughtful, Carl. Maybe we should just forget you next time. Jenna, it's okay. We're just hanging out. She's ignoring me. I see the skin inside Carl's ear and around his nose turning red. Since he was a kid, Carl didn't deal well with conflict, usually running away the first chance he got.
No! This was for Leo. I just don't understand why we can't do something that didn't involve.
Sorry, Carl. But that's life. Sometimes you have to come out of your room. Sometimes you have to be the center of attention, and sometimes, God forbid, you have to talk to people.
Well, what if I just want to stay up here and hide? Who gives a fuck?
The look on Jenna's face is approaching contempt. Are you fucking kidding me? This is difficult for you? Jenna. Again, she ignores me. I might as well be talking to a statue, or maybe I'm the statue that she isn't paying attention to. I feel like something must have happened downstairs. This isn't like her. You never realize how good you have it, Carl. If you ever have to taste what I went through. I can practically feel the heat radiating off of Carl's body. He's looking down at his lap.
Are you blaming me for that?
His voice breaks.
We all have our problems.
Some easier than others. Carl glares at her, trying to be angry, but I can tell it's not working.
You don't know what kind of shit I have to deal with.
Like being rich?
No! It's like myself.
Oh, how terrible. The one thing you have full control over.
No! No! That's so fucking unfair!
The quiver in Carl's voice doesn't exactly sound convincing, and the pot doesn't seem to be helping as I can see his fingers shaking. Just like life. Carl's face is bewildered.
What the fuck did I do, Jenna? Did I say something wrong earlier?
Out of habit, he lifts the joint to his muzzle with his shaking fingers, but then flinches as Jenna steps forward. I guess he thought she was gonna slap him or something, but instead she just reaches forward and plucks the joint out of his grasp, right before flicking it back into his face. It hits his nose, and Carl flinches again. Without a word, Jenna spins on her heels and opens the door even harder than she did the first time. I'm stunned. I haven't seen Jenna that angry since she was in middle school, and definitely never at Carl. Carl doesn't say anything, instead of rubbing at his nose, leaning back in his seat. The inside of his ears are still flushed a deep red.
What the fuck was that?
I don't know. Something must have happened. That wasn't Jenna. I'll ask Leo about it later.
I didn't do anything, did I?
I shrug. No words come to mind. We sit there in silence a while, listening to the train horns. Looking down, I see the joint still smoking up from the plank of the floor. Slowly, I lean over and pick it up before holding it out to Carl. He takes it and looks at it for a second, raising his paw. He pauses, then takes a drag before flicking it off the side of the balcony. He lets his head sag, the big horns dripping towards the floor as he closes his eyes. Slowly, I put my arm around his shoulders. He leans into me and doesn't pull away. Well, that's Carl for you. Oh, is that the normal dark? Okay, was scared for a second. Anytime they fade into Carl's room, I'm like, just don't have the red tint, okay? Okay.
So it's over with Leo, huh?
Carl waves his controller around like it's gonna help him avoid my 3-spike throw, almost knocking over his beer. It hits him anyway, and he gives a little grunt of annoyance. I grin and consider letting up on him because he's clearly drunk. Seems that way. He hasn't really talked to me much since I got here. I leave out the part that's probably my fault. Carl lets out a weird little a sound as I punch his character as if he were the one getting punched instead.
Well, that sucks. Does it suck?
He's looking intently at the screen. Still, I got the feeling he's not paying full attention because it's getting easier and easier to nail his character with my combos. I don't really know yet. It's been 3 years. Maybe it just hasn't kicked in yet.
It takes that long to kick in for you? When Tanya dumped me, I felt like I couldn't get out of bed for a week.
Oh god. I remember that, back in high school when we were both 16. Didn't she get you into pot? Carl lets out a snort again, and as I flick kick his demon character in the chin.
Yeah, and thanks Satan for it. I don't know how else I could have gotten over. Anyway, not to be a dick, but you're better for it.
Excuse me. He surprises me with a spin kick that sends my Angel Wolf character flying across the screen. I focus back on the game and throw a barrage of punches into the demon character's face, sending blood spattering all over the screen. Oh?
Well, it's just hard to talk to you and Leo when you guys are being all lovey and shit.
His words are mushy, starting to bleed into one another. His character throws a flaming spear at my angel, which I can easily deflect with my shimmering shield. I extend my my wings and swoop in to throw my lightning bolts. Well, no one really tries to talk to us when we were together. It was like we were making you guys uncomfortable. I watch as Demon fly into the air, surrounded by a glowing white circle. Looking over, I see Carl frown.
No, I don't think so.
His demon spreads its own much spikier wings and hovers up from the circle. He reaches up into the sky and a red lightning bolt slams down into my character.
You guys were just kind of self-absorbed. You didn't call me once after you guys started dating.
And here I was, thinking Carl never liked conflict. The sentence carried a lot of weight, and a lot of years behind it. I'm not about to argue with him, though, especially after what happened with Jenna. The lightning bolt was it for my wolf angel, and his demon flies up into the screen and flips us off as winner is displayed. Amazing. Well, there was college. Carl stretches, leaning back into the giant beanbag chair we're sitting on.
I don't remember much of college anymore.
He lays back in his chair and looks over at me.
By the way, I got a job interview on Friday.
Yeah, and it's gonna go great. My eyes widen.
Don't act so surprised, asshole.
He hangs on that last word with a lisp. You're drunk. But that's awesome. Where at?
A print shop. Be a production assistant.
Well, that sounds decent.
Yeah, parents told me they'd buy me a car to get there, and it's in paying, of course. But anyway, Flynn told me he'd give me a ride to the interview. But since you're here...
He gives me a lazy sidelong glance. While I usually wouldn't have an issue with it, the thought of how hard I'd been procrastinating on my school project is starting to make my stomach churn. You're not getting there, Chase. Just give up. But hey, how often will I get to hang out with Carl when the break is over? I'd love to take you. We were gonna go out and do stuff tomorrow. Why don't we change your look and get you new clothes or something for your interview? Right, we go to the mall. He keeps smiling.
This sounds great. So, what's it like? Kissing a dude?
I let out a surprised laugh. What?
You know, is it like more,
He wiggles his paws, uselessly in the air. I don't know.
You kissed a girl, right? Samantha, right?
I think so, but that was like 7th grade.
So, was it different?
I laugh at him. I'm pretty sure it's just like kissing a girl, man.
You sure?
I feel like kissing a different species would be even more different.
Maybe. I've always sort of wanted to know what it's like.
He says it slowly, deliberately, trying not to trip over his words. Yeah? I say it even slower, because I think I know what Carl's getting at.
I can see how guys can be sexy.
Carl, are you coming on to me? He rolls over onto his stomach, facing me fully now.
That's a good question. Maybe we can answer it.
I'm a little buzzed, but not drunk. Are you asking if you can kiss me? He gazes at me lazily through lidded eyes, looking about ready to fall asleep.
Only if you want.
I'd been asked to be the experiment of a few guys in the past in college, but and I'd always said no. But Carl is drunk. I shouldn't let him. I smirk at him. Carl, you're drunk.
No, I'm not.
He bursts into giggles even before he finishes the sentence. The ram then decides to roll over directly onto my chest. I let out a quiet irk, trying to push him off my more sensitive areas. Fortunately, he seems to get the hint and props himself up on his elbows. I tell you what, if you ask me again in the morning, sober, I'll say yes.
Oh, come on!
Oh, that one's cute. That one's a cute CG. It's soft. Look how cute Chase is. He's got his tan shorts. Those aren't jeans. I'm about to chide him some more, but that's when he starts snoring. I smile some, peering down at Carl. This is usually pretty comfortable. Maybe I'm just touch starved, or something. Whatever it is, I'm left with some slight bittersweetness as I remind myself, Carl probably wouldn't have the courage to do this sober. Whether he's just messing around or not, this is nice, watching his large chest rise and fall. I always choose Kish. With Carl, never ever. Slowly, the dim lights in Carl's room fade out as I fall asleep to his comforting rhythmic snores. Oh, oh. Look at this lad. Don't you just want to push him to the ground?
Stop!
I heave for breath as I chase TJ down the dusty street, trying to not to pop the water balloon that I'm holding with my claws.
You always chase me!
TJ's whining again, as always, but I don't care. He's always the funniest one to hit. His crazy speed made it all the more rewarding. Even though he's a grade lower, he could outrun me easily. I can still keep up with him, though, since he's running around houses and mailboxes. My 4th grade brain is easily able to figure out ways to cut him off. And it's not long before I have him backed up against the back of Benali's trailer home? Benali? He does a stupid dance where he's running back and forth, covering his head. For some reason, I read half that sentence and immediately imagined TJ flossing, you know?
Stop!
I stick my tongue out to the side of my muzzle, following him back and forth with the balloon I have cocked behind my head. Hold still!
No!
He finally curls up into a ball against the house, crouching into the dirt in his blue swim trunks. I stop. Well, it's not fun if you're not going to try to run. He looks up at me between his fingers.
You always throw it too hard.
Well, if you... He suddenly darts to the right, but I'm ready, hurling the balloon right at his back. It doesn't explode, though, instead smacks against his spotted back with a wet splash.
Ow!
He skids to a stop, then immediately bends and scoops up the balloon, grinning at how the tables had turned. Uh-oh. I start jogging backwards as TJ heaves back with the balloon, but I don't have anything to worry about. In his excitement, he grips on the balloon too hard, and I can see how his claws dimple the rubber before it explodes mid-throw. Water showers his head, and dust kicks up as dark spots speckle the ground, just like his fur, I think. He gasps the way cats do whenever they get any water on them, and I point and laugh. I can tell he's deciding whether or not to sulk and cry, and I hold my breath because I don't want that game to end. I think I win him over because he smiles and starts to laugh too.
That always happens to me.
Well, don't hold it so hard.
I wasn't!
Yeah, you were. I saw. I see TJ's ears perk and he looks over towards the front of the house. What? But that's when I hear it too. Doing with the those water balloons.
Don't touch me!
I'm not touching you. Just give me the fucking balloon. Clinton Jeremy. Oh, okay, those fun folks. Carl must have followed us, and they saw him out the window. My gut drops in my feet, and I feel like I'm gonna pee myself. TJ covers his mouth, and I see tears starting to brim in his eyes. I think fast. Go run and get Leo. He can help. Before I know it, TJ's tearing across the backyards of the houses, up the block where Leo's filling water balloons. At least that's where I hope he's going. Slowly, I pad around the house, and around the corner of the front yard.
All right, he has this as his child portrait.
Carl's standing there with his fist clenched, staring hard, trying not to look defiant. But I can tell he's terrified. It's prevalent throughout the whole game. Stop. Multicolored balloons, water balloons, are scattered across his hooves. He must have been carrying them all in his white tank top. His white tank top that he is definitely wearing. He always wore a t-shirt when we did water games, sorry.
What's the matter, Conface? We're not gonna hurt you.
Right.
Jeremy laughs stupidly at Clint and bends down to pick up the purple water balloon. Clint starts circling around Carl, and the ram follows him with his muzzle, nostrils flared. And he's looking the other way. Jeremy throws the water balloon right in Carl's face. Following the smack of rubber on muzzle, the balloon explodes, showering all three of them in water. Carl whimpers and covers his face. I grip the side of the house and knowing I should do something, but my legs aren't moving.
Leave me alone!
Carl's doing a good job of not crying, but he's about to.
Hey, we're just playing.
Clint's leaning down to pick up another water balloon. That's when Carl makes a break for it, dodging around a bend over Clint towards the street. Clint's too fast, though, and the ringtail cat instantly reaches out and catches Carl by one of his horns. He rides him for a second, jumping on Carl's back before using his long tail to trip up the ram. Carl lands on his stomach with a loud grunt as Clint sits on his back, holding onto his horns.
Cunt! He stepped on my tail!
Clint grabs both of Carl's horns and leans back so far I think I can hear his spine cracking. We deserve child Carl and Clint and Jer portraits. Yeah, it'd be nice, but there's a lot of portraits in CGs that would be nice to have in the game to fill things out, you know? Carl screams in pain and reaches for his horns, with his face pointed at the sky, and I can see the tears rolling down his face. The one eye I can see is open wide, and I think he sees me, but still my legs won't move.
Yeah, hey!
Leo jogs up the street, looking right at Clint. The ringtail sneers, but drops Carl back to the ground and stands up as Leo gets closer.
The fuck do you want, Beaner?
Clint's wary, his casual demeanor more tense now that Leo's here. I sigh with relief. Carl sits up and quickly rubs his face before standing and running back up the street, his hooves clopping loudly all the way. Oh, he's in like a little football shirt, right? Little sports football. Leo doesn't even look at him, his eyes on Clint.
I said, what do you want? You don't understand.
Honestly, Leo might not have understood. He had only been here less than a year. Still, Leo doesn't say anything, his jaw working, and I wonder if he's imagining chewing on Clint's neck. Kid Leo is the most adorable of them.
He really is. Look at him.
What a cutie.
You're fucking crazy. Let's go, Jeremy.
Clint is afraid of Leo, and he'd left us alone ever since the wolf had moved in, at least for the most part. Even though they're both 13, Leo is a head taller and almost twice as wide.
Leave them alone.
Clint stops.
What?
Leave them alone. Forever.
Clint looks hesitant, obviously not wanting to stay, but unable to leave now that Leo has thrown out a challenge, not in front of Jeremy.
Or what? Or...
He thinks for a second.
Is not good for you. Painful.
I hadn't been paying attention to Jeremy, but I see a sudden movement from behind Leo, followed by another smack and a splash. Leo arches his back, hissing at the pain from how hard Jeremy had thrown it. The wolf whirls around, one paw rubbing the back of his head as he snarls at Jeremy, who points and laughs. Ha! Wetback! Right, okay. He doesn't see Clint running at him from behind. Leo! I yell out his name, and he does turn around, only to catch a sucker punch right in the stomach. I can hear the thud along with all of the air going out of him, all the way from here. Leo stumbles back and stops with his paws on his knees, gasping. I wince, cover my eyes, only to pull them back down immediately and see Jeremy leaping on Leo from behind and biting his ear. Leo screams in pain, but immediately twists and slams his knee into Jeremy's crotch. Jeremy lets go and lets out his own scream, which Leo puts on end when he grabs the fox and swings him around by the shirt. Jeremy's forward momentum is brought to a halt as he slams headfirst into the oak tree. He goes down. Clint's scared, his eyes wide as he looks from Leo to Jeremy to the front door. Leo doesn't give him a chance, though, running forward and hitting him with a tackle that slams them both to the ground. I think I hear Clint start to beg, but Leo's fists start raining down on his face. Now all I can hear are crunchy, fleshy thuds as punch after punch hits Clint's face. All I can hear is Leo, too. Yep, you all can read that. It's right there, right in front of your eyes. Yes, yes, yes. The sounds Clint makes goes from snarling to screaming to gruggly, and I cover my ears because it sounds so terrible. Again, I feel like I should stop this. Leo looks like he's in a trance with how focused he is on hurting Clint. But again, it's too terrified. I'm too terrified. I think that's what that said. Excuse me. I'm too terrified. That is what that says. I ran in the direction Carl went. I need to tell him I'm sorry, that I should have helped him somehow, but that I was too scared. Even though this road doesn't lead to his house, I somehow get there. Duh. Okay. The red sky. Yes, the sky is red and orange, even though it was noon just a few minutes ago. For some reason, Carl's house is bigger, much bigger than it should be. The architecture is pointier, different. I walk around it slowly, looking for Carl. Looking down, I see hoof prints. They're too big to be Carl's, but I follow them anyway. They lead around the back of the house, right up to a wooden set of cellar doors. I reach out for them, even though I feel something terrible welling up inside my stomach. I pull on them, and they're stuck. But they're stuck, and if welded shut somehow. A window well next to the door draws my attention, and I get down on my knees, then on my stomach as I look intently through the window. There are little clear spots on the glass, little paw prints breaking through a layer of old dust. The paw prints of children. The room is almost pitch black, and but the red light behind me illuminates some of the cement ground through the windows. Behind the paw prints, I see something long and spindly crawl across the ground. I don't know where I am at first, as I open my eyes, but the dimmed Lucha Lobo lamp tells me. Laying there for a while, I realize that Carl's no longer on top of me. My face fur is a little wet, and my nose is stuffy. I look around thinking that Carl maybe went back to his bed, but he's not there either. He must be getting a drink or something. A dull, far-off thud makes me open my eyes again. I listen carefully, starting to worry that the sound came from downstairs. Again, I hear it, and it makes me jump this time. Shit, is it happening again? I hear a voice coming from the same area directly below me. It's a lot more muffled, and I can still tell it's a voice, muttering and cursing. Carl? My voice sounds weak and warbly in the heavy silence of the dark house. The scuffling sounds below me stop for a second, though, then start up again, more vigorous now. Slowly, I sit up, listening to the whispering and thumping beneath me. My mind flashes to Duke, the weasel's foot forward. Yeah, the weasel's foot forward. His eyes locked on me. Finally, the anxiety gets to me, and I stand up, walking as quietly as I can from the room into the hallway. The kitchen is dark, and I move over to the front door to check and see if it's locked. It is, so I move over to the stairs and look down into the inky blackness, almost afraid to turn on the lights. Nothing jumps out at me when I do, but the light is actually making me more afraid, knowing that it will light up anything that's down there. I move down the steps as quietly as I can, every creak making my fur bristle. The scraping sound is louder now, and so is the voice. I'm almost positive that it's Carl, but I can't be sure. I call out his name, but it's almost a whisper in my throat. I clasp my paws together against my chest, eyes flicking to each doorway, as I slowly move down the hall, not wanting Carl to get the jump on me. When I finally get to the crawlspace door, I can pick up a rhythmic thumping along with the scraps, and the muttering is much clearer now. Buried. Inside. Help! I shiver. Carl, this isn't funny! Again, my voice is weak and unconvincing. He probably didn't even hear me. Another thump almost shakes the house, and I jump. What the hell is going on? Is it even Carl? Did whoever is down there murder him and is now in the process of burying his body? The fear is too much, and I know I have to open the door now and put an end to this stupid prank, or I'm gonna call 911 and make everything worse. With each step I take towards the doors, it feels like the air gets more electrified. The charge makes my fur stand up on end all over my body. As soon as I touch the tiny knob to the door and start to pull it open, though, the sound stops. I freeze, listening hard. I get the feeling that whoever is down there is doing the exact same thing. Then I hear a series of thuds as whatever it is runs at the door. I fall back and can't help myself from shrieking, landing on my ass and scooting backwards with my paws and feet. The door flies open, and I'm face to face with a dusty Carl. Carl! What the fuck? I scream at him. My chest heaving as I clutch it, like I'm about to have a heart attack. He looks confused, looking around, then back at me, breathing hard himself. I wait, but he doesn't say anything. There's white dust all over him, all over his horns and on his shoulders. Just what? I yell at him again and he jumps. I feel bad if I wasn't so freaked out.
I sleepwalk sometimes. Okay.
Fully cloaked? I debate whether or not to accept that as an answer, and he looks confused enough that it just might be true. You scared the shit out of me! Carl moves out of the crawl space, leaning over to brush his head off.
You scared the shit out of me! I didn't know where I was!
I slowly get to my feet, still breathing heavily. Oh, what is that stuff? Oh, what were you doing in there?
Just dust. It's dirty down there.
Again, I feel like he's leaving stuff out. I try to look past him into the crawl space, but he closes the door.
Come on! I need a smoke after that.
I stand back to let him pass, attempted to open the door again. He grabs my arm when he sees me looking, though.
Seriously, dude, let's go. I don't really want to be alone in this house right now. Please.
I look at him, and I can tell he's definitely freaked out. I would be too if I woke up in that crawl space. Carl, stop eating drywall? Oh my god. Yeah, let's go. Slowly, I follow him, looking back at the door because flicking off the light. Wait, before flicking off the lights. Yeah? Oh, okay. Thursday. All right. Well, I think think I'll end the part here, everyone, or at least end the stream. You know, we'll make us say we're on the 3rd route, right? Yeah, number 3. We'll set that save there. Do thing. I kind of forgot the his Tuesday was pretty short, but his Wednesday was, well, the Wednesday is always long. Like, it's always long. Kind of annoyingly so. But yeah, you know, it's Carl's route. It's probably my least favorite. I'll admit, guys, it's probably my least favorite. But you know, we're trucking along. It's still fun in some moments. I kind of love how aggro Jenna is specifically in this route, because it's not entirely towards Leo, but it's still towards Leo. Because I don't like how aggro she is in her route. She's so mean to Leo there's reasons. There's reasons to be aggro towards Leo in that route. It's fine. I understand. But her being aggro towards Carl, 10 out of 10. It's really funny. But yeah, I hope you've all enjoyed the stream, and I'll see you guys around.